Happy St. Patrick's
Yes.
Day. Yes.
Yes.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. Top of the podcast to you.
Oh my God.
Hello.
Oh my God.
Do you want to play a game?
What's your favorite scary movie?
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
See dead people.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Here's Johnny.
Power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you!
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Welcome to Talking Horror with Jamie and Nikisha.
Hi, I'm Jamie.
And I'm Nikisha, and this is Talking Horror with Jamie.
And Nikisha.
Where we share our love for all things scary and talk horror through the lens of human behavior. Well, welcome everyone.
I have new lenses.
And they're
Oh
green.
my God, they're very cute.
Oh, and they are green, so no one pinch me.
Yes, because
Oh,
what?
is that a thing?
Happy St.
Yes.
Patrick's Day. Yes.
Yes.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. Top of the podcast to you.
Oh my God. Oh my God, but Jamie, side note, I forgot to mention to you, did you not know that little girls aren't supposed to look for four-leaf clovers? Today, we're talking about the 1993 comedy horror film, Leprechaun.
Be quiet! It's not nice to steal gold coins from a leprechaun. Bad shop owner. Bad shop owner. I'll be back. Now we're going to play. Do you want to play with me?
Oh no!
Guys.
So we're recording this on St. Patrick's Day, and
We are
you'll
true.
be listening to it afterwards, and that's okay.
That's
because
okay.
we watched this movie for you.
Yep.
So you don't have to. Jamie, and you doing that reminds me of whose line is it anyway? When they do the hidey, 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 hidey.
I haven't thought
Just
about that in a
hotness.
long time.
Such a good show.
Yeah, it was
Mhm.
great.
Yes. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Leprechaun today.
I'm so sorry.
So sorry. So this movie was directed and written by Mark Jones, and it stars Warwick Davis as the titular character, the Leprechaun. Jennifer Aniston, randomly, Ken Olant, Mark Holton, and Robert Gorman to round out the cast. So obviously heavy spoilers if you have not seen the first Leprechaun. There's a million of them, but if you have not seen the first one, heavy spoilers. And Jamie, hit us with those trigger warnings, please.
I don't even know.
Truly.
I mean, there's several insides on the outsides that take
Mhm.
place in this film. I'm trying to remember some of them. I admittedly did not rewatch this film for recording for right now, but I have seen this film the previous time that we were promised that we were going to record
Yes. So
And
I didn't remember this, but you two so kindly reminded me. For whatever reason, we had planned to do Leprechaun last year for St. Patrick's Day. You two watched it. I didn't, and then I changed what movie we were doing. So, and I don't blame you for not rewatching this.
Yeah. So to spite Brian, I didn't watch it and made him watch it by himself. And poor Nikisha watched it again.
I did. I have
So
no life.
so kind.
Just like literally at 11 p.m. I'm like, all right, let's just start it again. Just kind of have it in the background. As
It was
I
on
fall asleep.
Peacock, so it wasn't like you had to like work for it.
Right, exactly. So it's like, just
Yeah.
put it on. It's fine. Have a nice little
Totally.
drink to kind of get through it. Have a drink.
Oh, I
every
wish
time
I
it
was
says something.
drinking while watching
Yeah,
Leprechaun.
you got to make a drinking game out of it.
Yeah, you get drunk real fast depending on what the rules are.
Real fast. It's a fun
Mhm.
time. Yes.
But I remember, I mean, this film features a pretty creepy looking leprechaun. This is not like your cheery, Lucky Charms commercial leprechaun.
I think you mean fuck you, Lucky Charms.
and then mentions it 80 million times.
Oh yeah. So apparently,
In the
I have.
movie.
Anyway, we'll get there. We'll get
We'll
there.
get
Yeah,
to
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Mhm.
And there's a skeleton at the end, like a leprechaun skeleton.
Uh-huh.
Oh
I think.
yeah.
That's scary. Yep, that's mostly what I remember.
Great. There's
Think-
tricycles, there's pogo sticks,
Oh my
there's
God.
little like Hot Wheel cars or whatever
There's a
those
bear
are.
trap.
There is a bear
There's
trap.
a bear trap.
Mhm.
There's
Lots of guns.
lots of guns.
Mhm.
I don't know, it feels a little, it also feels like, I don't know, Warwick Davis is all in on this, but it still feels like weird in some places for sure when it comes
Yes.
to,
Right.
presenting little people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Anything else?
And like weird references to Ozzy's brain.
Yeah, I have a question for the group about Ozzy. Although Ozzy is Francis in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. He's Pee-wee's main antagonist.
No
You're
way.
not giving me reasons to want to watch this again.
So when he showed up, I was like, "Oh damn, Francis is in this!" I love Pee-wee's Big Adventure is one of my favorite movies ever.
That's hilarious. Oh damn, Francis. Yes. Gorgeous. Well, before we get into everything, producer Brian, you want to give us some words?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everybody. Producer Brian here. Hi, YouTube. Thanks for watching us. Hi, listeners. Thanks for listening to us. You can find us wherever we are on social media at Talk Horror Pod. We are mostly on TikTok and Instagram. Our TikTok has really been picking up lately, which is really nice. Love for you to follow us there. I'm doing reviews on stuff we don't watch here. I'm doing like insights and breakdowns on stuff that we don't do here. That's on Instagram and TikTok. So all the content is the same on both those places. But definitely check us out there. We would really appreciate that. And I don't know if you're listening to us for the first time. I'm sorry it's the Leprechaun episode, or maybe I'm not. But definitely subscribe, give us a follow. We would really appreciate that. Write a review. It's we have episodes every single week, and we're just doing our best. We love horror. We are lovers of horror. We're not experts, we're lovers. And we would love for you to follow us and become our friend, our internet friend.
Our internet friend. Yes. Gorgeous. Well, have you guys watched anything besides Brian watching Leprechaun? Have you had time?
Let me see. So yeah, we're watching Severance.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good, Nikisha. Why aren't you watching Severance? I think you would really like it.
There's too many things to watch.
There's way too many. Invincible's new season is out. I gotta watch that.
I didn't even.
Yeah.
I'm watching The Pit on Max. That's about it's a hospital show
kind of show.
Yeah, it's great. It's on Max. I highly suggest it. But no, we haven't watched anything outside of like the TV shows that we're watching. The last thing I watched was Silence of the Lambs. You can listen to that episode wherever you get podcasts.
Yes, plug it in.
But yeah, I've been making TikToks a lot. I've been making some really cool, nice TikToks for the channel. So definitely check us out there at Talk Horror Pod.
Yeah, loving the random horror thoughts videos.
Yeah, I think about it all the time, and I'm like, well, I'm just like not doing anything when I'm except playing Pokemon Go. But when I'm walking the dog, and I was like, let me record like some of the random thoughts I have. It's like very easy to edit and put together, and like I hope it starts some sort of an interesting conversation.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
lovely. Alrighty, well, let's get into everything that is a Leprechaun. This is how much we are dedicated to you all, putting this content out for you. Watching this. But we're
so dedicated. I might not be as dedicated, but
you hear us? We're dedicated.
Well, Jamie, you got the lenses. That's for the occasion, so that's dedication.
Yeah. I guess you're right. I really do. I'm very dedicated. Actually, I take it all back.
Which they are very cute, and I'm going to need you to send me the link to where you got those.
Thank you. I went rogue. I did not use my regular like go-to glasses. I tried Firmoo, FIRMOO, not sponsored, but would be. And
Gorgeous.
they have good discounts.
Okay. Have to try it. You heard it here first. If you need those lenses. Gorgeous. Well, let's get into a 2-minute plot summary, which producer Brian is going to slay. You probably won't even need the whole 2 minutes for this.
Oh no, I won't.
What's the plot?
It'll be great. Jamie is going to time him, and we'll get
Yep.
it done.
Yep.
All right.
Producer Brian, are you ready?
'Tis I am.
Oh, are you channeling your inner leprechaun?
My inner leper, yeah. I mean leprechaun. Get leapt.
You can workshop that.
Yeah, no, it's done.
Great.
It's a final draft.
Cool.
Screaming.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
Ready, steady, go.
Okay, this is Leprechaun. A man steals the gold from the leprechaun and subdues him, but then he gets out and the man traps the leprechaun again after he kills his family. Then 10 years later, Jennifer Aniston and her dad rent or buy, and unsure, this house in North Dakota. Shout out for any horror list that needs North Dakota. This is your movie. And so they meet all the handymen. One is hot, one is dumb, one's a kid, in working on this house. Long story short, they find some of the gold, and then the Ozzy, the dumb one, swallows one of the coins. And then Ozzy also lets out the leprechaun from the box. The leprechaun needs to get his coins back, his gold back, and ends up killing everybody in the town looking for his gold. And at the end of the day, they defeat him because 4-leaf clovers can defeat Leprechaun. So the little kid attaches his gum to the 4-leaf clover and does like a Dennis the Menace slingshot right into his mouth. And then the leprechaun dies. And then, of course, he comes back. So they blow him up with kerosene and gasoline in the well. And then he's like, oh, once I get my magic back, I'll come back looking for my gold. Hopefully, Ozzy, the dumb one, passes the gold so they can give it back to him. Anyway, he kills people with a pogo stick. He kills a cop with like his hands and stuff. He's riding a tricycle and a pogo stick and a little car. And that's Leprechaun.
Great.
You still got 10 seconds.
Great. Here are my favorite quotes from it. It's the rule, you know. The wee people have their magical ways. Your bullets won't stop me forever. I'll keep coming back. Listen, bud, this is the 90s and women are treated equal. Hey, Tubby, you got an old light for this leprechaun's pipe? Fuck you, Lucky Charms.
And that's the plot.
Absolutely. Wow. If anything, this movie is quotable.
Oh, yeah. The hey, Tubby, you got an old light for this leprechaun's pipe is a classic, obviously.
Obviously. Great. Well, let's get into our first segment, trick or treat, where we let you know if this was a trick, awful, or we don't know how we feel about it, or treat, we loved it.
We?
Jamie, yes. We loved it.
Trick. Treat.
Jamie, please, go forth.
I know this might be absolutely shocking. However, this movie is a trick.
Yes. Producer Brian.
So I'm gonna go because this is a bad movie, but I think I had fun in the end. You know,
That's
like
fair.
It's not good. It would never be like treat for me, but like I'm into the because like yeah, it's bad, but like I want to discover if I had fun while we talk about this today.
I feel like I'm in the same camp, but more on the trick side. But as I watched it a second time, I was thinking, is this one of those movies that it's so bad that I'm having a good time? But then I always liking it. Well, we'll get to it.
Okay.
We'll get to it. I'll talk about it.
Great. Sure.
Great. So let's get into our first segment, likes and gripes.
And now our likes and gripes.
Also, here's a question for the whole group. So, Brian, this was your first time watching this movie ever?
No.
Yes?
No.
Oh, so you've seen it before?
Yeah, I saw this. This is my first time watching it since I was like 13 years old.
Okay, gotcha.
So I didn't. I remembered like So I remember Leprechaun 2 way more than I remember Leprechaun 1, because in Leprechaun 2, I was a young boy, remember, and Leprechaun 2 has a scene. I think it's Leprechaun 2 has a scene where this guy sees a woman with who like shows her boobs, and then goes over to like touch
What?
them. I know, goes over to touch them, but it's really a illusion that the leprechaun, and it's two fans, and like he dies in the fans. And for some reason, I always remember that. So I remember Leprechaun 2 more than this one. But I saw this one a long time ago. The only thing I remember from this one was the pogo stick, like pawn shop sequence.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that Jennifer Aniston was in this. But I didn't know that it would. Maybe I did know at the time, because I would 13. I would have been 1999. So like, so I knew who she was, because the Friends was what, 96 or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gorgeous. And Jamie, have you seen this prior to us having to watch this?
No, that like a year ago was literally the only time I've ever seen this movie. And I haven't seen any of the sequels. Like I have zero relationship to anything Leprechaun.
Oh, I have him.
Yes. You got a Pop Funko Leprechaun?
I
Oh.
That is excellent. Yes.
That's
He's a
really
true
funny.
fan.
Holding a little coin. Yeah, that's it. Sorry, listeners. That's a YouTube only
Exclusive.
visual exclusive. The Funko I have of the Leprechaun.
Well, now I feel like because there's 80 million leprechauns, like we need to be doing this yearly.
Oh yeah, I this will be our Friday the 13th. Like, you know,
Okay.
like every time
Right.
we'll just do the next Leprechaun movie.
Right.
Although I'm looking, the one I've never seen that I would very much like to see is In the Hood.
And that's the only one that I remember seeing clips of when I was a kid.
Sure, I'm sure
I
that was
never
not
watched.
racist at all.
Right. So I'm interested to revisit that
Or
one.
maybe I'm wrong. Yeah.
But I absolutely know that it was like playing on BET at some point.
Oh,
when I
totally.
watched it.
Listen,
never-
I hope Warwick.
Go ahead.
You never what? No. You never.
Oh,
what?
I never saw the first one. This first one. This is my first time.
Oh, so this was like your second of the first time.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say, I hope Warwick Davis bought like a nice beach house with the paychecks on these.
Well, wasn't he also in Harry Potter? It's
He's in Harry Potter. He's in Willow. He's in Star Wars. But like,
yeah, make that money.
I'm sure he wasn't getting paid what he's actually worth, in general. But I hope he made something on this one, on these movies. I mean.
Well, because Jamie, I'm going to ask you to go first with your likes and gripes in this. Brian, you were mentioning or alluding to, you had some kind of like facts about the movie. Did you want to like speak on that real quick?
Yeah, I read this somewhere that they filmed a scene where he was eating Lucky Charms, and then Lucky Charms got like really pissed about it because like they didn't like the movie and how it was presented, whatever it is. And then they ended up like reshooting some stuff and putting in the like "fuck you, Lucky Charms" line.
I am absolutely obsessed. Also,
something like that.
I mean, but that makes sense because it's not the actual packaging of like the Lucky Charms box, or at least I don't think it is.
Wait, what do you mean? Oh, like in the movie?
Yeah,
No, I don't remember. Yeah, I wasn't
in the movie.
Yeah.
There was other stuff to keep your mind occupied. Another thing about the movie is that I was reading, I think just on like Wikipedia, they were trying to make it a legit horror movie, but
What do you mean it's not a legit horror movie?
But Warwick Davis leaned more into the comedy, so then they decided to make it a horror comedy instead of just like a flat out like horror movie. And it still didn't save the movie, but at least good on them for making it more comedy as opposed to trying to make it just a straight horror.
Here's a question. Would it have worked as a straight horror movie?
I don't think so.
It worked as a straight horror movie. I just feel like there's too much that like I just don't know how to make a movie like this more sincere.
Agreed. I don't. Fair. Yeah. They, especially with I mean, all horrors like with mythical creatures, but I just feel like I don't think anyone could steer away from stereotypes in this world in this sense. So like Jamie said, I don't think it'll be like
I
sincere.
think it would be like, I think it would just make it, I mean, it's already very campy, but it's like
Yes.
it's self-aware campy. If it's like
Mhm.
lacking self-awareness, it still would be really campy. But then it would
Yeah.
just be like they just don't, they're just trying too hard.
I think like if you were to reboot this series, let's just throw it out there.
Also, we're not asking for that, please.
No,
If there's
no,
any
no, no,
movie
no.
producers listening, nobody wants that. Nobody.
No.
Nobody wants this. Yes.
But if they were to do it, I think you would have to do it in a way that like everyone loves leprechauns. Like it's a fun thing, you know, like whatever. But what we don't really know is that in like Celtic lore, like leprechauns are actually demons who X, Y, and Z with gold and like stuff like that. And so you're bringing back like the actual like Celtic legend of a leprechaun that is more nefarious and devious than like the fun-loving ones. You know what I mean? You'd have to do something like that, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like the leprechaun that's in my hometown in Mobile, Alabama, that they throw the picture above. The friendly one saying
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the trees.
totally.
Oh my God, I will never forget that YouTube video. That's like an iconic video with the drawing.
Yes.
Yeah. Was that was in your home in Mobile?
Yes. It was
Oh
like
God,
in
amazing. Are you in that video?
Right. Being like, yeah, I saw it. It was up in the trees. God.
I think in the tree. Why?
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 And why is it in Alabama? I don't know. You know, it's people are cracked out there. Sorry, not sorry. I'm from there. So
I just I don't know. I just don't know what was going on there. Like I'm like that had to be like parody. But everyone seemed really like authentic.
It was like real news.
It was just very bizarre.
Yeah, it was very, very bizarre. But going back to the movie, Jamie, please give us any of your likes and gripes in this. If you even have any likes.
Do I even have anything to say? This movie just, here's what I'll say. This movie's not for me. It, and from what I remember, like a lot of the kills, they're the kind of kills that like make you feel really bad. At least they make me feel really bad. Like I don't think a lot of people deserve what's coming to them.
Nobody in this movie deserved it. Nobody.
So that always makes me feel some type of way. And so like you have this leprechaun that's just like overly antagonistic. And yeah, I think that really is what made it like it felt less fun because I just feel weirdly bad, even though again it's like supposed to be in jest and like funny and fun, but like nobody earns what they are reaping from this leprechaun. And I think if there were more like shitty people and bad things were and I don't know if that's the case for the other movies. Like I get it that they like took his gold, but like they could have also had a conversation perhaps. Even people who didn't take his gold, also not great. I will say the one O'Grady, not great. Because like what you went to Ireland and like kidnapped a leprechaun.
Okay. I need to say something at this point.
Please.
Yeah.
I had a hard time believing the opening sequence of this movie where we find out that this drunk went to Ireland, found a fucking leprechaun, trapped him in a box in his suitcase or whatever it is, and then fucking like stole his gold is not only do I not believe that this drunkard could do that, but it also sets the expectation that like this leprechaun is like kind of easy to subdue. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then he fucking shoots him and then puts him into the crate at the beginning. I'm like, that was really easy. Like, you know, like, I don't know. It just like undercut it. I also love that
did murder his wife.
Sure, after she like let him out and stuff like that, but like,
did he also not like I mean, I guess he followed him home, so I guess I feel like there should have also been a conversation of like, hey, like if we found the leprechaun's pot of gold, it's safe to assume that there is also a leprechaun that is searching for it. And like, what
Mm-hmm.
precautions should we be considering? But like, there are none. Because then everybody else is just unaware that leprechauns exist and are real. But like,
Also, this movie's rules are
No
interesting,
sense. Yeah.
like in concept, but they're just told to us in the worst ways possible. Like
Mm-hmm.
they just kind of make up the like clearly the movie has its set of rules, but it feels like they're making them up as they go along. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
there's no like Ozzy, the dumb character Ozzy should have been kind of more like a Randy from Scream or any other movie where there's
hmm,
one guy who like knows the lore of certain
Yes.
myths and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. Where it's
hmm.
like, so I did like
You get like the lore dropping moments instead of
yeah,
just like whatever they decided to do.
totally. It's like, oh, you should find a four-leaf clover. Oh, okay. And then there's that weird moment at the end where like you gotta believe, and I'm just like, when does this become like a faith-based film? Like
Mm-hmm.
why like what like that was a weird like random like
Uh,
thematic dump into there. Anyway, sorry, Jamie, back to you, Jamie.
yeah. No, it's all weird. All very weird. Uh, yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that like Warwick Davis is really all in. 150% all in.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I think my biggest gripe is just like the way that this movie makes me feel. I don't experience joy watching it.
Totally fair.
Um,
That's I
yeah.
think the point that you made, I'm really thinking about, where it's like he was so overly antagonistic and no one
Mm-hmm.
deserved their fate in this. And like, when you watch other slasher movies, even if the slasher comes out of nowhere to kill them, like Friday the 13th or something like that, like the teens are kind of annoying anyway. So like
Mm-hmm.
and they're like
Plus,
shitty.
they did have sex,
Yeah, and
and
no
we
one
all know you're not
yeah,
supposed to.
Chopping
like
block.
all Jennifer Aniston wants is to go back to LA. The guys picking the house are actually quite nice to her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one's like no one's overly shitty to her. Her dad was just trying to like have a fun like summer getaway with his daughter. Like and then he gets bit and it's just like and then the poor pogo stick like guy, the cop, even the cops in this
Even the
aren't bad.
cop.
Like the
Yeah.
cops in this are
Well,
just doing their jobs. Like in this one.
In this
Like,
one,
I mean,
yes,
to be
yes.
fair, he pulls when they pull the leprechaun over and he's like, are you a child? Like take off the mask. Anyway.
is he on like a tricycle?
No, well now when
No,
he's
he's
on
in
the
the
that he's
car.
those
that's
little
the
cars.
go-kart.
The
Yeah,
go-kart
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah, it's also random, and I would venture to say that Jennifer Aniston was kind of the most annoying character, but then like nothing ever even happened to her because
hmm
she's just
yeah.
whining the whole time.
hmm
Also, this is a random side note, but those people who just like come out of the womb looking old, like they're older people. Every time I see, well, in the two times I've watched this movie, I always think about Jennifer Aniston just looks like she's already 40 and like over it. Not in like a bad way, but in like she's just mature, and it's like also that took me out of it of hard to believe that she's just like this teenager visiting her dad. Um
Well, it's also interesting because I like watching actresses or actors that we know from their famous stuff and watching like the first
yeah,
things they've done, and like her inflections are exactly the same. Like as
yes.
a former actor and you as an actor still working, Nikisha, like you have your habits, you do your things, and then like
Mhm.
casting directors like know what you do and then like find a spot for the things that you do. I feel like her way of talking and the way that she like drops her punchlines and stuff like that are very clear in this. And when the friends, producers, and casting directors were watching her, like that's what they liked about her, outside of the fact that she's nice to look at. But like
Yeah.
that's what I think we like very. I love that kind of stuff, like seeing that like stuff.
Absolutely. One of my favorite lines that she says, I think the older brother that was like her love interest was trying to find the leprechaun outside the house, and he walks outside of the house and leaves everybody else in. And so when he turns around, everyone is behind him because they're scared.
Mm-hmm.
And Jennifer's like, we're like really scared, okay? And
Or
What?
there's that moment in the movie where the leprechaun catches the little kid and he's trying to put him into the bear trap. And then like Jennifer Aniston and the other guy, and the other two guys come into the barn. And then there's that moment where like Ozzy runs away and then the leprechaun chases after him. And then Jennifer Aniston's holding the 4-leaf clover and like has no urgency to like touch it to the leprechaun. She's just standing there like, it's kind of like when you're in a musical and like there's only so much room on stage, but like you're not allowed to like catch the person like as they're going back and you're like pantomiming it, but like it looks fucking stupid in a movie. And like that's what that moment was.
Yes, I feel like there was another moment too when the guy was in the bear trap for the first time, the older guy, and they all run out and they're just looking at him, not helping him at all.
Yeah, no
and
one did
Jennifer's just
anything.
like, somebody call 911. Oh my god. Like, and no one is doing anything but just leaving him there. It's like y'all could all be trying to open this bear trap to get him out, but you're just
No one was
standing
helpful
there.
in this film.
No one was helpful. No one was making any smart decisions.
No.
At all. It
Sorry,
was.
we went off
Go
on a
ahead.
tangent, Jamie, on your point.
I'm so sorry.
No, I really didn't have anything else
Oh, okay.
that I even wanted to say because like there really isn't any like yeah, this movie just is very much not for me and I recognize that, so I'm not going to spend the rest of my time shitting on it.
Not your cup of Guinness.
No.
There you go. Guinness is not my cup of Guinness.
Should we have been drinking Guinnesses? I almost said Guimmisses.
Grimace?
Guinai? Don't bring
Guinai.
Guinness into this.
Gorgeous. Brian, why don't you continue on with your thoughts? about
Sure.
this?
I knew what we were getting to, that opening music where it's like this weird bouncy comedy Irish music that they thought was Irish
Yes.
music. I love that when he pulls up in the limo, he just finishes chugging a bottle of Jameson just in case you didn't know this guy was Irish. Then when the little girl is calling to the woman in the house, like that voice was very clear. Like, I wrote the 4-leaf clover rule. What? Like they allude to it at the beginning, yes, but I needed a little bit more from that throughout the course of the movie.
Right.
Francis, the name of their business was Three Guys That Paint, and I loved it. I think that they would have great SEO.
Yeah.
What?
No, I was agreeing, yes, that they would have great SEO, but there's other companies that like isn't there a company that's called like Two Guys in a Van?
Yeah, but they're not.
And that's
in
like
North
a movie.
Dakota.
Oh shit, you're right. Okay, I take that back.
So my biggest takeaway from this whole movie is that this movie's from 1993, and this feels like it has the tone and the feeling of a carryover from 80s movies. And obviously there are some early 90s movies that really work horror-wise. But it's movies like this that like are trying to be an 80s movie in the 90s that do not work. And I understand after watching a lot of movies like this from the early 90s, I have more of an understanding of why Scream really popped and changed the game for people. Like for people who have been watching the 80s movies and this transition into the 90s, aside from like In the Mouth of Madness and like some other really good horror movies, like this one just like doesn't do it, and like creature features and stuff like that. Anyway, I thought that was very that's kind of one of the things I took away from this. And also, like, I feel like this is when people say they don't like horror movies, it's shit like this that they think about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, why, Leprechaun, and like, this is the worst of like some of the chains that we've watched. But like, so that's that. So my other gripes are, how did that drunk catch the leprechaun? What is this script? The leprechaun is way too easy to subdue with the gun. The two dummies find the gold. He swallowed the gold. Come on, I'm not a dummy. He's wishing to be smart. I need someone to explain this to me. Faith, that was insane. We're like, you just gotta believe in the finding the clover. Yeah, they had no urgency in touching the clover to him. So my question for the group is,
Gotta
the
believe.
Oz the you gotta do you believe? Um Ozzy in this movie is played just as like a dumb country bumpkin. But the way that the little kid talks about him and to him, it's as if there is something like some like I don't know, like handicap or like
Mm-hmm.
something like that
Like a
about him.
disability of some
Like yeah, some
kind.
kind of like cognitive disability that he has. And this movie doesn't know like I don't know if that's just like a commentary on the kid just being like cutesy and being like, I just want to change you. You know, like that type of a thing. But like
Screaming.
the kid is too precocious at the beginning of this movie and like is like the guy in charge to like it feels like they're trying to do like a Lenny and George thing with them from Of
Yes.
Mice and Men,
That's
but
exactly what I
like
thought.
yeah, but like it never comes across because Ozzy, when this movie starts, just doesn't feel like the slow best friend. He feels just like the dummy they met in high school, who just like not as good like at like you know you know picking up things as them. I don't know. It's a
Mhm.
very weird plot and subplot that never really clicked for me because I just didn't know what they were going for. I felt like they never actually made a choice, and I really did not enjoy that. Like he ate the coin, like it feels like a Lenny and George thing. That just did not work for me in any sense of their relationship of the movie. And the thing is, it's not even a subplot. That's the plot of the movie. He eats a coin, and they can't give the last piece of coin back to the leprechaun, and
So that he can go away. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
like that's it's not like a subplot where like oh whoopsie daisy, you know, like that type of a thing. Like oh my god,
It was
it's
also
not
so
like
random because of how it was brought up about the surgery. Like the little boy was saying, uh, the little boy brought it up. Ozzy was like, "Yeah, I want to buy some toys and stuff," and just like going on about his life, not even thinking about
yeah.
anything. And then the little boy is like, "Well, we can get you a surgery," and then it didn't make sense because at the end when he was talking to Jennifer Aniston's character, the little boy, he was saying, "Yeah, we wanted that gold so that Ozzy could get surgery on his brain." And Jennifer's like, "That's not a thing."
What the fuck are
And
you talking about, kid? Get
and
the hell out of here.
right, and then the kid is like, "Yeah, I know, but Ozzy doesn't know that." And it's like, why are you planting
So
this
are you
idea in his
lying to him?
head? Right. Like, and why are you lying to him, planting that story when Ozzy was fine just being Ozzy and living his life? It was so stupid.
Yeah, I hated that because like if that was a side character, it was like, "Oop, I ate it," and then he shits it out, like something dumb like that, and that's a side plot line. I don't know, like you like I don't know. It's almost like they didn't have the. I'm not saying this is appropriate because it's
Yeah.
not, but they didn't have the balls to go full bad color like The Village. Like you know what I mean. Like I don't think they. I'm glad they did not.
Right.
But
right.
like if you're gonna like I don't know, there's something
Just don't.
missing in there. Yeah, just don't. Like
Yeah,
there are
just
other.
don't do it.
Yeah.
This movie could have
Just-
1,000 other different plots of how they can't get that last piece of gold. Like
Mhm.
you know, like he doesn't have to eat it because he's like I'm just you like in the movies you bite it. Oh, I swallowed it. Like he could swallow it because like there are a million other reasons if you're even gonna do the swallowing subplot.
Right.
He could
Like,
have
put
just
it in some
lost
food or
it.
something.
Like I
Yeah.
lost it around here. We can't find it. It's in the car somewhere. Like, but it's in his pocket the whole time. Like, there's
Yeah.
something you can do. Something I don't know. Anyway, that was my gripe about that. But as a reminder, I'm going to read through my quotes for you once again.
Yes.
One of my likes. I thought that the makeup and the it was really good in this movie. I thought
agree.
the skeleton at the end, the leprechaun, like. I mean, you have those like early '90s blue lightning effects, but like I thought that the like practical, all of the practical stuff in this was really good.
Mhm.
So again, my quotes: "It's the rule, you know. The wee people have their magical ways. Your bullets won't stop me forever. I'll keep coming back. Listen, bud, this is the '90s, and women are treated equal. Hey, Tubby, you got an old light for this leprechaun's pipe? And of course, fuck you, Lucky Charms."
Absolutely. So it's so good. Speaking of colors, how random was it that the field of four-leaf clovers were like illuminating green?
Oh
Just
yeah.
randomly.
And then when they found the clover, like clearly a PA was out there with like a flashlight, just like highlighting the one, like
Yes.
yeah, totally.
It's so random. I'll just tackle on because my only like was also the prosthetics, and I was just thinking it's also I hate those movies where the parent is there at the beginning, but then they have to go away because the kids have to do something themselves. I'm like, why are you not calling your dad in any of this? It's not like he broke his whole body. He just got his hand bit. He can still go out there and help y'all.
Excellent point.
And also, when the phone wasn't working, and she didn't realize she still had a cell phone until like towards the end of the movie, and was like, "Oh wait, let me use my portable to try to call for help." It's like, girl, you had this that entire time, and you did not use it. And then the same thing with the Jeep. When the truck broke down and they couldn't go anywhere, she still had her Jeep, and they didn't use the Jeep at all. It was really wild and random. I hate it. Like no one was making any decisions that were smart in this movie, and it was really wild. Really wild and crazy. But yeah, that's all I have for
Great.
this.
Let's move on.
Yes.
Hi.
Oh wait, my point that I was going to ask, because Brian, you were talking about is this movie bad but you had a good time? I always try to liken it to Jason X, because that is kind of my marker of okay, I know Jason X is one of those bad great movies that I love. Does this feel the same?
No, for me, because Jason X has the extra insanity factor of being in space.
Yeah.
Like it just goes above and beyond. You know what I mean? And I think that like the high concept of that is just like nutso bananas. And then you have great kills and the cool, and like the design is super cool. I think there are a lot of things in common with that. This one just doesn't go far enough. I would probably equate Jason X to what I assume or believe Leprechaun into Hood is like, because it's just like, what the fuck did you do? Like that type of a thing, versus this one, which feels more like a bad version of Chucky or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Of Child's Play, I mean, not Chucky.
Yes, absolutely. Great. Any other thoughts on this movie? No.
No, zero.
Please move on. Great. Let's go on to our next segment. Brains.
Tasty.
Okay, pulling these questions out of my ass, because what was this movie to ask something about mental health and human behavior? No one is being human in this. But my question to you is just in reference to the whole Ozzy surgery thing, and Ozzy being like not even aware that he's being made fun of, or that he's not perceived as smart because he thinks he's smart. He's just being his authentic self. So my question is, why is authenticity so important, and how can we find authenticity in a world that kind of like shoves conforming messaging down our throats, like even now?
That is a good question. So I appreciate you working really hard to pull that question out.
Thank you.
I was like,
Appreciate it.
what things could we even discuss?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think authenticity is important because I do think that we value like being genuine. I think that that is a value like as a society that is really important, despite a lot of pressure to like conform and things like that. Like I think despite the like groupthink and peer pressure to kind of follow a crowd, I think a crowd still has the potential to like move towards authenticity. But like I think people want real things. I think people um like are more able to connect to other people when they feel like they're getting a real genuine person on the other side. So I feel like they're like for those reasons, that's why we do like try to make these connections. I think that there's like always risk involved with, the vulnerability of kind of sharing your authentic self with somebody. The risk of
Absolutely.
rejection for sure. But it's like on the flip side, the risk of, having a really strong connection with somebody who like sees you for who you are, and supports you.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is what I think we're all striving for. So I think even if there is like this pressure to conform or, like go against your authentic nature in some way, like checking in with whatever that pressure is and like kind of evaluating, do I need to dismiss that, or like can I still be myself in this situation? And maybe there's like safety things where it's like I can't actually be my authentic self in this situation because like it's
Mm.
potentially not safe to me, so like
Mm-hmm.
that can
Mm-hmm.
go into your evaluation. But like I think the goal is that like you can just live and like be free to be who you are, without feeling like you can't be your true self.
Yeah. No, that's great. And a great point about safety and authenticity as well. Yeah.
Hmm.
Gorgeous. And then my next question just has to deal with bullying because it's mentioned that Ozzy gets bullied. So I was just wondering, why do you think that some people kind of hold on to the hurt of being bullied more than others? Because it seems like some people could just kind of let it roll off their backs, but sometimes it sticks with people enough to even kind of, going back to our first question, mess with their authenticity and they feel like they need to change or be something else. So why do you think that might be the case?
Yeah, I mean, I think like bullying is definitely like can be a really traumatic experience that someone goes through.
Hmm.
I think that we like the experience of bullying. I feel like most of us kind of identify it during our younger years, like in school. Um, and you know, I think that part of it depends on like the severity of the bullying. I think part of it depends on the persistence of the bullying.
Fair.
Was it
Yeah.
ever resolved? But even if some of those things were resolved, I still think like, some people just say such hurtful things or like do such hurtful things that it's really hard to let those things go, especially at a time where like your brain's not finished forming. And so
Hmm.
it's like kind of taken into consideration as like you are becoming who you are as a person. These like really kind of like uh not like monumental moments, that's not the right word, but like these moments in your life that like are um just like they feel so important. When we're young, everything feels so important. Like
Yes.
everything is a huge fucking deal,
Hmm.
and like the stakes are so high. um and then on top of that you have people who are like saying and doing heinous things, so like it's going to feel so much worse.
Hmm.
I think part of it is like you can even as an adult you can still connect with like those younger emotions of like how intensely everything felt when you were young. So like I think
Hmm.
that too can make it a little harder to like fully let it go. It's like, well, I remember how I felt when I was going through this and like that felt awful. Even though now I'm an adult and like maybe these things don't bother me as much, or like, you know, I'm not experiencing that type of bullying. But like, yeah, I think it's traumatic. It's happening at a time where like our brains are still forming and our
Hmm.
identities are forming. Um, and like, I feel like in a lot of ways bullying has gotten worse because of technology and social media.
For
And
sure.
like I think that's part of the persistence is like it's not just about not being in your school, but like now people are posting things or texting things or like doing whatever on other forms of media, so it's harder to like escape it,
Yeah.
and like create any kind of distance for yourself.
Yeah. I agree. And also to your point of you never kind of forget how something makes you feel. So even
Hmm.
if
Yeah,
it was at a younger
definitely.
age, yeah, you still, it's like, well, I remember that feeling and that's like something that's going to stick with me,
Hmm.
for a bit.
Yeah.
But great. That's all I have for that. Should we rotten tomatin this?
It's the Rotten Tomatoes game.
I think
Roll
so.
in to molten.
Okay, sorry, I accidentally saw the score, so Jamie's going to be the only one guessing. But I also want to ask, what's the lowest score that we've covered? If you know or can find it, Brian, off the top.
I don't know. It's
Hmm.
probably in the 11, like
11.
11% or
Okay,
something
yeah.
like that.
So go low.
I was just wondering.
All right, Jamie, what do you think the Rotten Tomato score on this is?
Like a 2.
It's 35%.
Yeah.
They were far too kind.
And the audience score is 33%.
What is happening?
There's no critics consensus
thing.
on this one.
Yeah.
All right, what do you think this has on Letterboxd? Nikisha, you go first. 1.5, Jamie.
A 2.3.
2.4.
Wow. Because I'm like, I know there's people that probably really like it, or just really sadly are like, this is totally fine, less than fine.
Right.
Cool. The top 3 reviews are, it's not a good film, but a good film or not, you can't be entertained by a leprechaun riding the following things: a tricycle, a wheelchair, a small toy car. I mean, seriously, where else are you going to get a pogo stick death? Warwick Davis relishes the role, and Jennifer Aniston is next level cute in this. Like, good grief, it's so unfair. If time travel was real, I'd go back and ask her out and be rejected. I don't care. What a weird rabbit hole.
Very weird.
Yeah.
It's March 17th, so let the Lepre-thon begin. I saw this tidbit. I don't know the validity of it, but here goes. One scene required the leprechaun to find and eat Lucky Charm. Oh, this is the story, which the company gave them permission to do. Upon seeing the finished film, the company was displeased and would not allow them to use the scene, and the filmmakers had the choice to either cut the scene or reshoot it, costing them more money. They chose to reshoot it, replacing the brand name with an obvious spoof of the name brand cereal, and made one last additional surprise ending scene where they were filming. Furious with the cereal company for making them reshoot the scene, they pulled out the kid actor aside and had him say a new line as line, "Your luck just ran out," was changed to "Fuck you, Lucky Charms," as an obvious reference to the whole ordeal. The more you know.
Okay. Work.
And then the top review of this one is, "Let's have some fun. This beat is sick. You're gonna get killed by a pogo stick."
Yeah.
That's the best one.
That is the best one. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do the 4 S's.
Yes.
Skull, scare, shakes, and suggestions. The Talking Horrors 4 S's.
All right, Jamie, you're first. We have skulls, scares, shakes, and suggestions. Skulls is how well this handles mental health and human behavior. Scares is how scary was it. Shakes is this a one and done, or how much you remember this? You go first.
For Skulls, I gave it a 2 because everyone's nervous system seemed to be activated. Like, they were all breathing, blinking, walking.
Great.
But like, that's really the only human reactions that I'm getting. Not even reactions, just like they are not robots because they're human beings. And
Great.
That's all we got. For scares, I gave this a 1 because of how scary bad I think this movie is. For shakes, I gave this a 2 because I couldn't really remember a lot about what happened from 365 days ago. Yeah, so that's all I got.
Great. Nikisha.
Listen, 1's all around for me. I'm just gonna keep it simple.
To be kind.
You know? It's an error.
Mine's a 204.
Why 4?
Because I had a little bit of fun.
Okay.
That was so accusatory.
Excuse me.
Why 4?
I had a wee bit of fun.
A wee bit of fun. I mean,
all right.
You know what? I'll put it up to a 2 because of the prosthetics. I forgot to think about.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't have to. Like, don't let them.
No,
don't let
I'll
them
give
change your mind.
Right. But I did like the prosthetics, so I'll give it a 2.
My suggestion for this one is, there's a lot of stuff. I was gonna say, if you want a better movie about something little running around, watch Child's Play.
Yep, that's mine.
However, watch Pumpkinhead. Pumpkinhead from 1988 has great practical effects. It's a short movie. It it's awaking something and then it attacking and trying to. It's just it's better than this, and it's from the 80s, so it feels more right, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
Work.
Cool.
Yeah, Child's Play was what I had. What about you, Jamie? Do you have any more besides that one?
Nope, that was it.
Gorgeous.
That was all
And
I
if you
had.
want a movie about magical coins, like just watch Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, Dead Man's Chest, or yeah.
Curse of the Black Pearl.
Thank you. That one.
Yeah.
All of them. They're all good. Also, that just reminds me, the connection, stick with me, of Elon Musk randomly retweeting a fake news article about Pirates of the Caribbean reboot because they were saying it was going to be Io, a debris. And I only say that because of the Irish, because everyone claims her.
Oh, yeah, because she claimed that she loves like the Irish people and she's like a daughter of Ireland. Yeah.
Right. So with all the posts like celebrating all of the Irish actors, like she's in there.
She's so funny. Oh my God.
She's amazing. Incredible.
I love her.
Great. Well, that wraps up our episode of Leprechaun. There'll be more to come. Also, I saw that Sci-Fi, the channel, is running a Leprechaun marathon right now. Even though
you're gonna hop in,
I'm busy doing literally anything else. I'm gonna go do the dishes and fold my laundry.
Oh, okay, great.
Anything that's the opposite of watching more of these films.
But keep sticking with us because we're gonna eventually cover all of them, which I'm excited to see the rest of the chain. I don't know about y'all.
Unexpected choices.
Yes.
So great, yeah, if you in 1 year get ready for booby fans.
Yes.
Oh God.
I think
I can't wait. I mean, we can't skip around like we do with Friday the 13th. Like we can watch Leprechaun in the Hood if that's more enticing.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, but I don't know. Maybe there's a theme. Maybe
Oh,
we
like
need
a follow through,
like Chucky. Like I don't know.
Gorgeous. Well,
we have to earn in the Hood though.
Okay, fair. Like get all the way up to it.
Yeah.
I don't even know what number it is.
I'm looking right now.
Okay,
there's Leprechaun, Leprechaun 2, Leprechaun 3. Oh, Jesus. Mm-hmm. Leprechaun 4 in space, Leprechaun into Hood, Leprechaun back to the Hood, Leprechaun Origins, Leprechaun Returns, and then apparently there's an untitled Leprechaun film in the works.
How does every franchise have an Origins movie?
I don't know. But he's what's his name starts oh my God, Mark Holton Ozzy is in Leprechaun Returns, Leprechaun Origins.
He's gonna die.
He's not in. Okay, he's not in. I'm trying to find the last one that Warwick did. Okay, the last movie that Warwick Davis is in is Back to the Hood.
Okay. Well, this would get him in the Hood, so.
Yeah, we get him in the Hood twice.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry for that Lepre-thon distraction.
I can't believe they're making a new one, but we'll be there because we're dedicated to this podcast and to horror. So
wait, on the Wikipedia for the Leprechaun film series, it says on St. Patrick's Day, all Leprechaun films are played on Sci-Fi.
Oh, work. I can't. I mean, if you have it.
Wait, and the DVD box set is called Pot of Gold Collection. Oh, no. Pot of Gore Collection. I misread that. Anyway,
that's even worse.
Okay.
Jamie's like, I am not amused at any of this.
Not for me.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to us. You can follow us on all of the socials, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, at Talk Horror Pod. And producer Brian, where can they listen to us?
You can listen to us wherever you get your podcast. That is YouTube. Hi, YouTube. That is Spotify. And of course, Apple Podcasts. Rate and review us there. 5 stars, please.
And
thank you.
Hit us with your quote, Brian.
Hey, Tubby, you got an old light for this leprechaun pipe? Fucking great.
Oh, thank you guys for enduring this episode with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you
for not making me watch it again.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, I guess. In 1 year, get ready for Leprechaun 2.
Woo! In it to win it. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.